Greetings, fellow humans! Over the summer, I read Terms of Enlistment by Marko Kloos from the Frontline series, an amazing book featuring terrible places to live, interesting military stuff, questionable tactical decisions, and humanity's first encounter with extraterrestrial life. But not everyone has the time to read, so I present to you a terribly animated summary of Terms of Enlistment by Marko Kloos. Our young protagonist, Andrew Grayson, lives with and is quite fond of his mother. However, his relationship with his father is strained by years of abuse and neglect. Andrew and his mother live in one of Boston's many crime and disease-ridden public residence clusters, or PRCs, a depressing and brutal reality shared by most of the North American Commonwealth citizens. PRC's residents live entirely off of government welfare, which provides only the barest minimums in necessities, such as food and water. Determined not to live a life entirely in the PRCs, Andrew Grayson joins the Commonwealth military, one of the few paths toward a better life and a real paycheck. But before he leaves, Andrew trades what little possessions he has left for NAC food vouchers, so that his mother might finally get a warm meal. At the military training facility, Andrew meets his fellow recruits and his drill instructors, who stress the importance of following orders no matter what, and performing well to avoid washing out. Andrew quickly finds that he excels in urban warfare and close quarters combat. He also begins a relationship with his bunkmate Hallie, who proves herself to be a very capable dropship pilot. Following several more difficult weeks of training, only about half of the recruits are able to make it to graduation without being kicked out. The few recruits who remain are sworn in as soldiers of the North American Commonwealth. After everyone is sworn in, recruits are assigned their positions within the military. Most recruits are assigned to the Commonwealth Marine Corps, who fight against hostile nations such as the Sino-Russian Alliance across the Commonwealth's extrasolar colonies. Andrew's girlfriend Hallie is assigned to the Space Navy and departs for Luna to begin her training. And Andrew is assigned to the Territorial Army, the Commonwealth's far less prestigious but highly skilled Earthside Defense Force. Andrew's new squad is led by Sergeant Fallon, one of the very few living Medal of Honor recipients. And after just a few short weeks, they are deployed to the Balkans to evacuate an embassy, and to protect it from insurgents during the evacuation process. After a very rough combat landing, Andrew and his squad establish a perimeter around the embassy to protect it while the dropships evacuate the embassy's staff. They face down an enemy tank force with infantry support, which they dispatch quickly with rocket launchers and small arms fire. During the battle, Andrew also records his first kills on enemy infantry. Once the embassy's staff have safely evacuated the building, Andrew and his squad make their way back to the dropship for extraction. The squad makes it aboard without injury, and as they depart, the Commonwealth military bombs the embassy to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. For their next assignment a couple weeks later, Andrew's squad is deployed to Detroit PRC-7 to quell a food riot, backed by an armed insurgency against the NAC government. Andrew's squad, deployed to the local government building, are met by thousands of rioters attempting to storm the building and steal its food supplies. To make things worse, there are many insurgents embedded within the crowd carrying military-grade weapons. After the rioters surround the facility, Andrew and his squad fire into the crowd, killing civilians and insurgents alike. The insurgents return fire and quickly pin down Andrew's squad. Because the insurgents are using the residence blocks as sniping positions, Andrew calls in air support to flush them out. The arriving dropship disperses the crowds and severely weakens the insurgents, but it is quickly shot down by insurgent forces. Andrew and his squad are tasked with retrieving survivors from the crashed dropship. The squad navigates the city and manages to save the pilot, the only survivor. On the way to extract, Andrew's squad is pinned down by insurgents using a residential building as an elevated firing position for a heavy machine gun, and the squad suffers heavy casualties. Sergeant Fallon has her legs shattered by enemy fire, and Andrew himself is injured. In a panic and out of options, Andrew picks up a rocket launcher from a squad mate and targets the heavy machine gunner, not realizing it is loaded with a thermobaric round. The rocket decimates the building and Andrew is shot. He passes out, but thanks to his actions, his squad extracts without further casualties. While recovering in a military hospital, an officer informs Andrew that he faces potential blame and court-martial for the hundreds of civilian casualties in Detroit. Sergeant Fallon, also injured and missing a leg, uses her influence and history to blackmail the officer and transfer Andrew to the Space Navy instead as a way of getting rid of him. Andrew attends a naval academy on Luna, and he is trained as a neural networks officer, essentially a computer jock who monitors various systems aboard spaceships. Upon graduation, the cadets are assigned postings aboard spaceships randomly, as they all share the same skill set. Andrew trades his slip with the fellow classmate and is posted to the CNS Versailles, reuniting with Hallie, who also serves aboard the Versailles. The Versailles is sent to the frontier world of Willoughby on a routine mission. Willoughby is a relatively remote and only half-terraformed world. As they decelerate into orbit, the Versailles is unexpectedly rocked by explosions, crippling the entire ship and forcing Andrew and Hallie to evacuate in a dropship to the planet's surface. They scan the surface for escape pods on their way down, and they are able to reunite with several members of the Versailles crew, including their executive officer. Although Willoughby has no indigenous life, the survivors claim to have encountered giant 25-meter-tall aliens with spindly, lanky features. On the flight to the planetary capital, they also discover that something is altering the planet's atmosphere through enormous organic terraforming spires, making it uninhabitable to humans within weeks. To make things worse, Willoughby City, the planetary capital, was wiped out by some kind of nerve gas attack. At a civilian terraforming settlement, which the Versailles survivors commandeered as a base, Andrew and his squad encounter an alien and engage it in battle. Although unarmed, the alien proves incredibly tough, only killed by firing their entire supply of armor-piercing rockets at it. Their celebrations quickly subside when 3 more aliens appear, and Andrew's squad takes cover in a storm shelter after taking casualties, unable to fight back with the weapons they have left. Following the distress beacon launched by the Versailles, the Commonwealth warship Manitoba decelerates into orbit and radios the ground. The squad cannot contact it from the storm bunker, so Hallie and Andrew dash for the dropship while the squad distracts the aliens with small arms fire. They manage to take off and contact the fleet in orbit. The Manitoba rescues the survivors on the ground, using airstrikes to defeat the aliens. Andrew and the survivors are extracted safely. The Manitoba also destroys an alien terraforming spire with nuclear missiles, as conventional weapons prove useless against them. However, this practice is bad for the environment, and using more nukes to destroy the spire network would quickly render the planet uninhabitable, most likely for human and alien alike, so they decide not to do that. Andrew and Hallie share a moment of relief as the novel ends, and they contemplate humanity's first encounter with extraterrestrial life, realizing the enormity of the challenge ahead. Well, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to, jump on the like button and shoot the subscriber in the face. I really don't know. Oh yeah, and leave a comment. That's what they say, right? Yeah. Now, thanks for watching. Make like a paper bird and fly away. I don't know.